in the rain. This is a terrible idea. What's going on, everyone? Today you're seeing a project truck that has never made it onto this channel before. This is my Arrma Infraction, and this is one of the V1 Infractions, and it was one of the first Arrma Infractions available. The day that this vehicle was released, I was in Champaign, Illinois at Horizon, and they had like 6 or 10 of them that were available to the public, and it was like a month before they were available anywhere, stores, shops, or anything. And I bought it that day. But from that day on, I loved what they did with this truck and with this platform. You know, it was made to be an on-road basher that smoked the tires, everything about it. Just the styling, the whole thing. But I will say that I didn't do a very good job of consistently putting it through its paces. I ran it a few times and then it has sat and just kind of collected dust in my garage. But then the other day, I got an email from the guys at Horizon, and they said, "You want to do a video on smart battery and charger?" And I was like, maybe if we can roll it into a whole project. So that's what we did. I said, I've got an Arrma Infraction. Let's just update it to the full host of all the smart things. So we've got the charger. This is the Firma smart system. This is basically the system that comes in these now. This is the pre-spectrum electronics that are in this vehicle. So this is basically going to be updating this to just stock style electronics that you may have in your Arrma Infraction already. From there, we've got programmers, and well, this is the ESC programmer. This is their smart battery checker. This is actually really handy to have no matter what batteries you have already. This is the G2 version. I've got one of the older ones, but absolutely a great tool to have around. They sent the radio programmer and a telemetry capable receiver as well. I have a DX5 Pro that I'm going to be swapping over to. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to go ahead and get this truck completely updated with the smart electronics. That should be a quick process. But then from there, I figured while we were updating it, we might as well really update this thing. So as much as I liked the original Arrma truck body, I figured it was time for a change there as well. And with the theme of keeping things smart, we've got here the Protoform R34 GTR body. Now I used one of the AI generators, Midjourney, and I typed in GTR livery, orange, black, white, silver, and it brought me up a beautiful number of options of paint liveries. And then I chose the one that I liked the best, and I handed that to Moose Jaw, and this is what he came up with. He did a great job. This is all paint through the side, other than like some of these little details here and a couple little things. Other than that, all that, it's paint. He did a fantastic job. It really looks good. He even did a very faint carbon fiber finish here on the roof. Nothing overbearing. You have to get up close to really see that it's got the pattern in there. Just an absolutely killer job. Now the Protoform does come with a new front splitter, and I've already got that installed, and I've set the body posts to the appropriate size as well. But now with it sitting there in place, this thing is already looking really good. But the fun isn't stopping there. I decided to keep going crazy and order a bunch of Scorched RC upgrades for the 1/7 scale platform. In this box of goodies, we've got the carbon fiber chassis side panels to help kind of fill the gap between where the chassis ends and where the side of the body is. We picked up the inner fenders. These we have to trim out ourselves, but help close up the inner fender portions, front and rear. These are the Infraction chassis inner fender filler panels. These actually go up by the front A-arms and kind of enclose the chassis there a little bit to help keep the air moving across rather than coming up into this chassis, trying to keep this thing on the ground. I also decided to pick up the carbon fiber backbone brace that has the aluminum machined parts to help get it mounted. And then I also picked up a bunch of titanium bits. We've got a front skid plate, rear skid plates, titanium diffuser or front splitter screws, the titanium steering arms, and the titanium steering rack piece. So we're going to give this truck a proper upgrade. Some really nice looking updates. Couldn't be more excited than to freshen this thing up and get it back out on the street. Now, of course, these are street bashers, and you can turn them into absolute monsters of speed with some of the electronics that are available right now. What I want to do is I actually want to throw in this Spectrum system, basically the stock system that comes in the V2s, and I just want to see how fast can we make it go with the look that I was after. We're not going for a GT body or anything like that. I just want to have this set up, and I want to see if I can get close to that. Can I get 90 miles an hour? Never gone that fast with an RC car before, so why not try it with this one? So let's cut to throwing some of these parts into this platform and getting ready for our first fire up with the smart electronics. All right, we finally got all the parts installed onto the car. The Scorched RC upgrades, we did the titanium steering rack as well as the titanium steering arms, the titanium skid plates on the bottom, front, rear, as well as the splitter bolts. We did the carbon side braces or guards, whatever you want to call them, as well as this big carbon top brace with the aluminum attachment points. And then we did the inner fenders, front and rear, as well as these filler plates that go right here that kind of help close in that large A-arm opening. After I got those parts installed, I did install a set of new Hoon tires as my old ones had been destroyed from the previous runs. Then we did some small suspension modifications. I adjusted the preload in the front, kind of brought it down a little bit, but brought the rear up slightly. I do have new shock oil for it, but I didn't get around to installing that. We'll see if it needs it after we get through our first run. Installing that Spectrum Firma 150 setup was super easy because it's basically the stock system that comes in the more updated cars. We also swapped out that receiver to one that is smart capable so that I can use it with my DX5 Pro here. While I was installing that 150 setup, I also swapped out the pinion. I ordered a number of sizes of pinions from Saga RC, who I'm always told makes really excellent pinions. So picked up one of those and went with a really large size. Stock spur with a big pinion. We'll see how it goes. I'll monitor temps and just hope that I can keep everything happy enough to get some speeds out of this. I've got those 3S5000 packs installed into the vehicle as well. Getting those charged up with that 2100 charger is so easy. You just plug it in, it just starts. It knows everything about the battery. Ideally, every battery that I could ever need would have that feature or that tech built in. It really is just super enjoyable to use. But you do, of course, have to have a smart charger to charge these batteries. So that is one downside of it. If you're getting into it and you just want that kind of don't want to think about it, worry-free type setup, that's super solid. The 2100 charger here, it can do the EC5 and EC3, so it's just a little slider on there on each side for channel 1 and channel 2. Overall, you don't hardly need to know how to use the charger because it just does everything for you. And as a bonus, it's nice and quiet. The fans kick on every once in a while, but even when they're on, they're not as loud as some of my other chargers, so I like it. Before we put the body back on, I did design up a GNSS mount for my little GPS sensor that goes right here on top. I designed that, 3D printed it. It's a clamping setup. I've had my GNSS kind of explode apart in crashes in cars before, so I put that clamping design over the top, hopefully keeping it together and in the vehicle. That would be a bonus. And as far as how it attaches, there were some extra hole patterns on this Scorched RC top brace, I assume for different chassis layouts or whatever different ways that you can set up this car. And so I used that, and then I made a brace on the bottom side that also helps hold my power connectors or my power leads in place without having them droop down or get, pushed around, out of the way, in the way of the drive shaft, anything like that. So just a simple little piece. If you guys want that, I'll upload it. You can download it for free off of my website if you want, if you have that Scorched RC brace specifically. And the last thing that we installed, besides the Protoform GTR body, are a couple of these parts from a company called Stupid RC. And that is this rear aluminum wing and this extended front splitter. Now, this body came with a new front splitter, and it's this one here. It's nice quality. It's made out of like a Delrin or a Cetal type thing, and it fits the shape of the front of the body, but it's just like right at the front. So I wanted one that stuck out a little bit further, and Stupid RC happens to make one that's made specifically for this body on this platform. Just gives it a little bit more of an aggressive look. And then I didn't like the Lexan rear wing that this body came with, and thought about making one myself, but just time and energy, all of that. So they had a setup that I could just get everything I needed. I picked that up. It does come with these taller stanchions that are kind of machined, and they would bolt on, and then you would bolt the wing on that. But it was kind of a weird transition between these molded on risers here and theirs. So I decided to just put it right onto the body as is, and I think it just looks proper. I think it's a good look overall. Batteries are installed. I've got my other batteries charged and ready. We're pretty much ready to go run this. Before we did, I did plug it into the ESC programmer. This is a super easy piece to use. There's an extra port on the Spectrum ESC where the fans are plugged in. You just pull that out, you plug this guy in, you can go in and adjust your ESC driving style as far as like forward, brake, reverse, or no reverse, things like that. I also decided to just up the punch level. Maybe it's needed, maybe it's not. Figured it's worth a try. Timing, I left at where it was set stock at 22.5 degrees, I believe. There is one step above it that's a little bit more aggressive, but I left it at the factory setting on that part for now. So super easy to adjust, do that. I will take out that battery checker with us so we can see how the battery is performing, as well as we'll see how the telemetry of the smart stuff works on that DX5 Pro. So looking forward to it. Let's go out there and get some running done. Here's the road we're on. Just a new road in a development nearby. Nice smooth asphalt, a little bit of a crest of a hill right there at that intersection, but no houses or anything on this street. Hopefully this street's wide enough, smooth enough for this thing. We'll see. I haven't driven it in quite a while. We'll see how it does. I need to fire up my GNSS. We're at 0. Start. Just do a couple of easy passes. Maybe I'll try and get used, kind of get familiar with it on the first set of packs. We'll watch our temps. Gonna set up our cameras and just try and see how the car does on the first packs. So got our motor amperage, temperature, all that. We'll see what that reads while we go. Gonna do a little bit of a easy pass range test. Looks like we dipped on our voltage there. Got an alarm on our radio. I feel like I could use some more brake. We can adjust that with the programmer. I just want to see what our speed was though. Stop, read, 77. Wow, that feels pretty interesting. Let's just look at what our battery stuff says on here. So battery info, if you can read that on there. Pretty good on both packs. 14.1516 on one, or 4.14, 1514. Temp 111. So resetting. Let's try it again. Wow. God, that felt fast. Amazing how effortless these cars are compared to anything else I'm used to driving. Hit a reflector in the road there. No battery warning that time. I think maybe our batteries were just cold. They needed warmed up. Stop, read. 85. What the heck? This is so, it's wild how much easier these make it feel. God. That's so much fun. Let's do a couple more pulls. ESC status, still nice and cool, 104. We should check our motor though. Motor's still cold. Oh no, it's starting to rain pretty decent. Let's get one more good run in. Let's get my good camera put away. So, track Start in the rain. This is a terrible idea. Here we go. Oh. Whew. We got that cell warning again. Again, I think I let the batteries cool after the run though. I definitely need to turn up the brake amount. But I stayed in the full throttle much longer that time. Stop, read, 86, even better, even better. Whoo! Start it again. Batteries are a little warmed up. Got the security guy down there watching us. Rain's still coming. A little harder even. I'm gonna go a little bit further up. Here we go. Spin out. Oh, spun and hit the curb pretty good. Oh, it's getting a little heavy rain. Stop, read, 86 again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. See if we can just, with the batteries warmed up. Oh, look at that road though. It's getting wet. Here we go. Tires were spinning pretty good there. I think we're done. Let's read what that says. I think that we're losing too much traction to get a better run. Stop, read, 81. Yeah, I could feel it that time. I took a good shot on that tire there, but oh, both of them. You can see where we scuffed pretty good when we hit the curb. Everything else looks pretty decent. Hard to argue with how much fun that was and how easy it just was to go 86 on a first run. So the rain took us out, but that was a great first run. Definitely gonna have to get that back out. I've got other batteries charged. I just gotta wait for some dry times. Testing some gearing changes, probably the next best step, but we'll have to figure out what exactly to do. This isn't exactly a GT body or anything that's insanely built for speed. This one is just one that I think looks fantastic, and I can't wait to run some more. Seeing the telemetry on the radio and seeing that it was giving me warnings on the batteries getting drawn down definitely makes me wonder where my amp draw is coming from, but I'm going to be interested to review the footage and see exactly what the next best step is. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Put them in the comments below. As always, thanks to Spectrum for supplying a bunch of new parts to have fun with on my Infraction. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, hit the notification bell so you see the videos as soon as they get uploaded. With that, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.